Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's doing good. I know I haven't been on here for a minute, like I said, guys. Had a lot of stuff going on. My best friend tragically lost his son this past week. Well, it's been a little over a week now. I also had my step grandmother passed away. There's been just a lot of stuff going on. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit more into detail next 7th. I've been sharing a little bit more over on the Lifeboat channel. I hope everybody gets a chance to go over there and check it out. Tomorrow, I may try to give a little bit more of an explanation over there, but I'm not gonna, do that here because people they get kind of upset with me when I just don't stick to the subject. So, which is space weather, and I get it. Okay. But that's why I haven't posted. Been dealing with a whole lot of that. It's been a pretty hard time. But I'm going to make it through it. Doing a lot of good things. But we've had stuff happen, guys, with all the stuff we've been talking about here. But with that said, guys, I think I am going to, thanks, Tom. Appreciate you. But hey, Marie, Pamela. With that said, I do want to mention one more thing, and I'll mention it again. The first, if you go down to my description box, we've had somebody here in our community, his mother lost her house to a house fire, and everything that she owns, it's gone. So he did, it's Joe Birdwell. He's been a long-time supporter here on the channel. So if you guys can help, please do. If you can't, I'm sure Joe understands. Don't do anything that is going to be over and above what you can handle or anything like that. I know Joe wouldn't want that. But they did start a GoFundMe for that. I'm going to paste Joe's channel here in the live chat. And again, it is in my description too at the beginning. You can go over there. He did make a small video explaining what was going on. So if you guys want to go over and check that out and maybe help out, trying to get his mom, right now she's living in a hotel. They're trying to get out of that and get to, a more substantial home, right? But anyway, that's there if you guys want to do that. But, so, hey Red B, what's up, man? Gwendolyn, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Missed you guys, that's for stinking sure. I know that. I'd rather be here definitely with you guys. Angel, what's up? Angel Caban. Let's see here. Paula Roberts, what's up? Okay. Hey, 7, what's up? Chris, yeah, long time no see. I know. And again, guys, I'm trying to get more into a more, steady structured upload time. And gosh dang it, man, I mean, as soon as I start doing stuff like that, real life happens, and that's what happened. So but I am trying my best to get back to doing daily updates. We haven't had a whole lot going on, okay, but we do now, so that's why I'm here. So anyway, holding it down in the Bronx, baby. I thought that was you. Hold it down in there, baby. Angelo in the hizzy. Anyway, so this is Schumann, guys. We all know what Schumann is. Most of us do. Nothing going on here, guys. This is the heartbeat of the Earth. The frequency that we all talk about, 7.83, is what they consider normal. I'm not going to go into detail, but what this will affect us mentally. It will affect us, our physical bodies, right? Our human bodies require that. This normal frequency is what they would consider 7.83, right? And that's over here. Notice that there ain't a whole lot of spiking going on. This is not that much of anything. I know for somebody looking at this from the beginning for the first time, this will look a little weird. This is nothing weird, okay? When we're talking about like a really sharp uptick in the frequency here, we're talking about big white slop. And you'll notice it. It's just in your face, that kind of thing. But right now, Schumann's fine. Hey, Tommy, what's up? Pamela, what's happening? Marcella, 7th in the house. Okay, guys. So this is why I'm here, right here. Okay? I want you guys to notice something, though. You guys see this? This is our X-ray flux production. This is how they gauge how big a flare is by the amount of X-ray it produces. Now, when I say produces, we can only gauge what's facing our planet. Okay? So that's where our detector's at. They're over here on this side. Right? Day facing side. Now, I'm pretty sure they have some X-ray tools on some of the satellites, but we don't really have nothing on the backside of the sun. So if something happens on the backside of the sun, it's really hard for us to put a number on it. It's hard to classify it as actually how strong it actually was. Sometimes we'll catch flares that are like on the side of the sun, which is called the limb. Those would be, sometimes we'll get like, I call them half flare because they kind of come around the edge of the sun. And that's just the term I use. But, again, if we don't get a direct like flash in our face, that most definitely affects how strong this will show, right? This one was right in front of us, and it did produce a CME, and it looks to be at least a 3/4 CME. Is it headed directly towards us? It's hard to tell at this point, but I'm going to show you what we got. I think we most definitely are probably going to take at least a glancing blow from this, judging by the north-south, east-west, as big as it was. But we'll get into that here in just a second. But that was an M-class flare. Now, you see the yellow here? Whenever you see that, when this spikes up like this, typically that is indicating a longer lasting flare, and plus the slow down tick here on the end. Okay, so this was a long duration flare. Now, it didn't stay in M-class very long. That's the initial flash, right? So we've already got the radio blackout part of this. It's here. It's gone. Didn't last very long. Never do. Well, they do sometimes, I guess. But with an R1 right here, R1, you're not going to hardly get anything, right? Weak or minor degradation of high-frequency radio communications on the day side of the sun, or of the Earth, sorry. Occasional loss of radio contact. Now, they're talking about, like, high-frequency radio here. These are the things that, boats, first responders, that's what they use for a lot of their communications. And this one here, guys, I don't know that it would have even affected a whole lot of anything but up by the poles and stuff where things come in easier. Hey, Body and Soul, what's happening? By the way, I have to say it was really good to see you over on the lifeboat tonight. I really appreciated what you were saying. Really did. So thank you. Anyway, so yeah, you get this radio blackout, guys. And it didn't last very long. So, notice all these flares, though. Okay, every one of these right here is C-class. Now, back a couple years ago when I first got into this, you wouldn't have seen this because we were in solar minimum. Right? Now we're on an uptick. This is becoming more and more prevalent. And this is what we would expect to see as we go in a normal sun cycle. Okay? Now, I have to say that our sun cycle is overproducing already. What does that mean? Well, that means if we scroll down here, we look at the sunspot number. See the red line? That's what the predicted values are. Do you guys see any in the past year and a half that came in lower? No. Every one of them is overachieving the amount of the number of sunspots. This sun cycle is overachieving. Now, back when we first started talking about this, there was only a handful of scientists that really actually thought this was going to overproduce. The rest of the mainstream, or even not even mainstream, were saying that we were going to underproduce. Everybody's sitting here talking about this grand solar minimum and all that kind of stuff. Come on, guys, you got to look at the numbers. Okay? It's just not there. Now, I ain't saying we can't slip in on our next sun cycle, slip down to a whatever. But listen, go look at these numbers before you listen to anybody spouting anything off, including myself. Please go look at this data. You know, you guys are smart people. You guys are so smart. I mean, like I said before, you guys, I learn more from you guys than I could ever teach you guys. But please, don't listen to people screaming grand solar minimum and all that kind of stuff unless they've got something to back it up. Right? And really all they have to do is come here. The sunspot number. That's how they know what part of the sun cycle we're in. Just a simple data point. That's what they're looking at. That's all they're looking at. The sunspot number, that however many sunspots we got facing the Earth. How many days do we have that year or that month or whatever you're looking at? Do we have any sunspots at all facing us? Okay? Now this is showing you numbers, the amount. Right? What this will do, let me go back to, I know I had that, okay, there it is. When you're looking at the sun cycle, okay, this says spotless days. This has nothing to do with the amount. This has everything to do is if there is just one small sunspot facing Earth for whatever amount of time, they count that as a day. Okay? So it doesn't, you could have 20 sunspots right there and it's still only going to get counted as one day. So that they're just talking about the cycle here. Now what we're talking about over here is the actual number. So this will give us a decent idea of how many sunspots we're getting, how active the sun is, and that's why we look at this. Now it's not going to be able to tell you how powerful things are. That's not what this is doing. Okay, it's just telling you, hey, there's a sunspot there. We had 10 of them facing the Earth today or whatever it was. Right? Hey, Flamin', back at you. Okay, so anyway, we had this happen, right? Multiple flares. Okay, now we've had a really roller coaster time here as far as we would go a week or two with almost no flares, then all of a sudden this happens again. What's going to happen is you're going to start seeing that time get closer and closer to each other till eventually you're just going to see flares every day. Now, they're not going to be huge ones. We can get occasional huge ones. It depends on how the sunspots are developed and who they're playing with, their friends. Look at this. How often have I ever showed you a sunspot that looked like this? Only a couple times, right? When you see, this is a sunspot grouping, right? When you see these right here next close to each other, that means those are friends. And if they start playing with each other, you know, things happen, right? And that's what's going on here. That's where the M-class flare came from, was right there. And I'll show it to you guys here in just a second on the other views. But again, the X-ray has already been here and gone. It's just, yeah, it gets here in 8 minutes. So the radio blackout happened or it didn't. I don't know because it wasn't on my side when it fired. So I don't know. But we can go down here and look at this. This is the absorption, right? Degraded frequency number here. X-ray flux, minor X-ray flux. And you can see highest frequency affected by 1 decibel absorption. Now, I'm not going to go into detail what that means, but yeah. So, you look at the numbers here. This is the M-class flare, but I want to show you something. Okay, this is 4 hours before, 4 to 5 hours, I think, before the M-class flare hit. These are those other little ones. I'm calling them little really, really loosely here, okay? Because those back in the day, we'd been out here talking about it all day long. Because we weren't getting very many flares. Now we're getting them all the time. And you're going to see this continue for at least the next few years, probably. And we're going to have ups and downs, like I've said before. Now, the CME tracker has not updated yet. So let me take you guys over here. This is the Discover data. Again, we wouldn't expect to see anything change in the solar wind yet. Not from that flare or CME. Okay? The CME stuff it takes it, 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4, even 5 sometimes, to get here. Sun's 93 million miles away, and it takes that amount of time. Right? Hey, Sugar Bee, what's up? But on the orange line here, you're talking about the plasma density. What's plasma? it is charged gas. It's the fourth state of matter, right? That most people forget about. You got solid, liquid, gas. Then you got plasma. And plasma, seriously, is as simple as saying a gas with a charge. Negative, positive. Right? What's up, Mr. Floyd? So, yeah, guys. I mean, hey, Daryl, what's happening? Kathleen, good to see you. Dirty Skies, California. Yep. Anyway, I'm just going to keep moving, yeah. Okay, so, anyway, the BZ here, we look for -6. Now, this is the angle of our magnetic field, right? That's essentially what this is. So, when this number gets to -6, that's what we look for, because we would be at the correct angle to allow a stronger hit from the sun. So, right now, we haven't been down that far here. We did back here, you see the purple. And we have been in a little bit of an uptick in intensity in geomagnetic activity here. Okay? We almost got into storm level multiple times here, but we didn't. And even if we did, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. What you would have seen increased aurora, and you're seeing that now. So, just saying. Now, we'll go over here to ISWA. So let me show you this flare. And I'm going to show it to you in a couple different views here, because I do think it's important to look at a couple different ones, because it gives us a different idea of what it actually looks like. Now, they put, this is on SDO. It's a satellite looking at the sun right out in front of the Earth all the time, right? So, this is the 131 angstrom. It's looking for a specific gas. I'm not really sure exactly what the 131 sees as far as the gas. Someone has been really worried about this, and I said I would ask the guy. Okay, yeah, I'll address that here in a minute, okay, Rip? He's talking about pole flip, okay? We'll talk about that in just a second, okay? Let me get past the flare, and then we'll go into that. But, so, we actually had a C flare. My thumbnail, guys, was a C-class flare. That wasn't the M flare. And I did that for a reason, so I can make my point here. You know, sometimes something can look really, really impressive, and it's really not. Right? So if I bring this over here, and I start running this model, I'm just going to grab it. See right here? Look over here, like where my thumbnail was. If you guys paid attention to the thumbnail, I'm not sure, no big deal if you didn't, but see that little... right there? I think we had another one after that. Yep. See how many multiple flares are coming from that? Now, this is important to pay attention to this part, because this isn't facing Earth yet. This is actually on the other side of the sun. The side of the sun. So, I told you what I was calling, what I was calling a half flare. That's what that was. Okay, so that C-class flare, if it happened when it was over here, it most likely would have probably been an M-class, just judging by what I'm seeing there. Now, I can't say that for certain. Never will be able to, because it's not facing Earth. We don't have the detectors over there to see it. So anyway, you see in these little multiple flashes, those are those flares showing up here. All these little ones. Okay? And I show you guys this so you guys can go look at this for yourself. I really hope you do. That's the best way to learn. It really is. So let me go over here, and this one here is the one that shot the M-class flare. So I'm going to take it around to that. Even that one was popping. Now see over here on the side, right there, does that or does that not look impressive? Right? I mean, it's not like catastrophically impressive. That's not what I'm saying. But it's taken on that X look, and it's not an X flare. It's just how the camera sees it. It's the light anomaly. You can see the little horizontal hash marks there. I used to think this is why they called them an X flare when I first started doing this, and that's not at all what it is. What determines the class of flare is how many X-rays it's putting out. Okay? But that's, that's here and there. And it's okay to not understand that. What's not okay is to ignore it and keep calling that an X-flare when somebody tells you, hey, it's not. And I see so many channels out there that do that. I've seen people call that a CME. and again, if you don't know the difference, I'm not, chuckling at that. But what I'm saying is that once you do know, then it's not okay to keep doing it. Okay? It's really not. And I'm not talking to you guys here in the chat really so much as I am a few other channels that I see out there just roaming around throwing out a bunch of fear. Okay? So I'm saying that for that benefit. If you're listening to me and you got other channels, quit calling that an X-flare. Unless it is. Because it could have been. But again, what causes the rating there? It's the amount of X-ray, not the way it looks on a camera. So please understand that, people out there trying to show people this. And again, I'm not really getting on people here about this unless they already know. And I know that there's a few out there that do know and they still keep doing it. They do it for one reason, that's to scare people. Because they want the stupid views. That's what they want. They want subscribers, that's all they care about. Matter of fact, I had some moron come in here and do that to me one day. He said, you know what he said to me? I even got the screenshots because I save it for one reason. So I can go back and look at it for myself. And know that if I ever start thinking the way that he was talking, I will shut my channel down. Because he judged his, you know what he says to me? He says, I will always have more subscribers than you. Now, that might sound like an innocent whatever comment, but it's not. Let me tell you why. Because he only says that for one reason. He judges his success of his YouTube channel and what he's doing by the amount of subscribers he has. Not by the quality of work he's putting out or the knowledge that is increasing as he learns. He's been corrected 5,000 times by 5,000 different people and won't take it. So just know that there's people out there like that. And I know you guys do. It just, yeah. What can we expect with these flares? Well, I just showed you the M flare. Now, with a flare, there can be a CME also. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. There doesn't have to be, but most of the time, well, I don't want to say most of the time, a lot of the time, there is a subsequent CME with it. Okay? That would be the plasma. That would be the eruption that, if you're going to be talking about catastrophic stuff, typically that was what would be knocking your power out and all that kind of stuff, right? The big stuff we talk about. Because it's possible. That stuff can happen. That's why we do what we do, right? But we don't want to over-exaggerate things when it doesn't need to be. Because that actually hurts. That hurts your effort. It really does. Sorry. So we want to keep things as real as we possibly can. So what can we expect with these flares is, the radio thing. Now, let me show you the CME. Since the question was asked, I'll go ahead and do that real quick. This is on Soho, Lasco C2. I would normally show you this over on Seeds, but they haven't updated their Soho yet. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's the weekend. Sometimes that gets kind of put off on the wayside till Monday morning or whatever when they get the data updated. But you guys see this right here? See that little shaded part? That's a halo, guys. Okay? Now, it's not, it even stretches around here. It's not a full halo yet. I don't know if it's going to be. It could be. But we're going to have to wait and see. Now, I will say that north-south, this thing would hit us, most certainly. Now, the CME tracker is showing that one. That one there went off the backside. Okay? See what I mean about looking at different satellites from different points of view? This is why we do that. So, this is stereo A. This is our side view. Let me grab this. Actually, I'm on the stop that first. Okay, so I'm going to grab this and bring it back. So right there, see that? That, remember, you're looking at the sun from the side now, not from our view. Okay? That right there is this. So they're both going to the left. What does that mean? What that means is that it's not going to hit us. That's going off the backside. Because now we have a front view and a side view we can combine in our heads, because these are two-dimensional things that we're looking at, trying to represent something three-dimensional. So that thing will fire off, and it's fired off the backside. At least directed, at least at an angle where it's not going to affect us whatsoever. Now, the M-class flare. Let me show you this. Let me take you here. There's the M-class flare. You see that? Now I want to say something here. It doesn't look as impressive as the one flew off the back, right? You want to know why? You see this? That's an occulter. We can't see what's behind here. That's a physical disc that's on this tool, on the satellite, that blocks the main light of the sun, so it can even do its job at all. So we don't know what's directly behind this. We do know because I showed you, sorry about that, the flare here, where it was positioned. Okay? Right there. That's the M-class flare. Right there. See how? Right there. Now notice you can't really notice the CME, right? And that's why we have to look at these other images. But that's directly Earth facing. So with that being said, what does that mean? Well, there's a good chance that this CME is going to hit us. So what I'm saying is, watch this. There's the one that went off the back, and then watch the little shaded areas. See that? Notice how it's stretching out even around here. If it's going fully around this occulter, and we're looking directly at the sun from this view, this is from our view, what does that mean? That means this thing's coming our direction. Right? At least partially. Now we're going to have to, let me update that real quick. We're going to have to wait to get all the data, guys. You know, because we don't have it all right here. Just haven't had enough time yet. So there's that one off the back, and there's one in the front. Now let me show it to you from the side view. So again, that's off the back. Okay? And don't freak out about that. I know somebody's probably going to grab that and start saying a bunch of crap about it. I'm not sure if that's I think that's Mercury. I can't remember. It's either Mercury or I don't think it's Venus. I'll go look here in a second. But that happens all the time, guys. We see them on these satellites. I mean, things are going to pass in front of the satellite. Doesn't mean it's something crazy. So anyway, here's one that blew off the back. And there's the halo. See it? That's from the M-class flare. Notice that it's more prevalent on this side. Notice that it's going completely north and completely south. So where is Earth? Right here. Okay? So, yes, this looks like north-south. It would be hitting us from this angle. So how can we confirm the left-right? Right here. It looks like it's coming at us here too, right? So, I don't see how this thing is going to miss us, is what I'm saying. Now, we won't know for sure until the CME trackers start updating and all that kind of stuff. Okay? Hey, Kathy, what's up, Aloha? But, listen. This one I don't think is going to miss us, guys. Now, I can't tell you how powerful it is. We simply don't know. Now, it came from an M-class flare. That's saying something. An M-class flare is not a chump. It's not a giant either. but it definitely is not a chump. So let me, what was I? Oh, the 211. Because you're going to see the shock wave go across the sun from this M-class flare. That means it disturbed the corona. All right. So let's go here. Now, right about, it's from this sunspot right there, guys, so watch. See that? I'll zoom in a little bit better there. I think you guys can see it better if I do that. Oh, crap. Am I zoomed in too far? Sorry, guys. Oh, goodness. I know what I did. Daggone it. Wow. Okay. Hold on. Sorry about that. Thanks for emailing me, Tommy and Tom. Sorry about that, guys. I've probably been doing that the whole stream, haven't I? Wow. What a moron. That was ridiculous. I'm fixing it. Give me a second. Sorry. It's real life, guys. Real life. It happens. Yes, it does. It happens just because. If it's going to happen, if it could happen, it's going to happen, right? Ain't that what they say? Okay, maybe this will be a little better. Better? Sorry. I am so sorry. That really, I hate that because everything I just showed you guys, you probably didn't even see it. A lot of it. And I've been having technical problems all over the place tonight. Anyway, that's what I get for not having my OBS view up there so everybody could, yeah. Let me, hold on one second here. I need to fix something else. That's better. Okay. Now I think we're good, right? Hopefully. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so let's check out this ripple across the face of this thing. Yeah. So you'll see it right here. Look at that. See it? That's a big thing there. So let me show you guys the CME again. That was stupid. I can't believe I did that. Oh well. Let me go down here. You guys probably didn't see this very well either because of what I was showing you. The way it was. You might have, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, here's the halo part. This is from the side. It's stereo A. Okay? Right there. North-south. There's no way this thing ain't hitting us, in my opinion. Right? This is from our view. See the halo? Like that. Okay? And again, guys, I'm sorry. That really makes me makes me mad at myself for doing that. But anyway. Were you guys able to see most of that? Just let me know. Because if you didn't, I'm half tempted to. I'll finish the stream out, but then I'll probably make a short video or something. I'm not sure. Hey, Bex. Yeah. Okay. Crap. You know what, guys? Let's do this. Oh, man. I'll show you guys the rest of it. I'll probably delete this live stream because they'll see that and nobody will want to watch it. So then they won't come back because they've seen that. Anything trying to reach anybody new is not going to happen if I leave that up there. But yeah. So I'll finish this out real quick, and I'm going to go right back live again probably. If you guys, I don't know, maybe not. Yeah. All right, Brett, I won't delete it. Okay. You can still see it okay? Okay. Okay. As long as you guys can see a little, at least the majority of what I was trying to say and show. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll tell everybody to kind of skip to a timestamp. What timestamp we at? Does anybody know? Hold on. About 7 minutes. Oh, God, we're 35 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes in, probably, when I discovered that. Or when you guys, hey, stupid, dang, get out of there. Oh, goodness. Just gotta laugh, right? Anyway, so that's the CME part of it. Now, listen. Here is the sunspot, or the magnetogram of the sun. I want you guys to kind of look at this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the movie tool here. And you're going to see these sunspots like develop. And I'm showing you guys this stuff because it'll show you guys how these sunspots develop. Plus you'll see how many like pop up really, really quick. Now why that's doing that, I'll show you the 94 angstrom. Because you can really see it flash here. See it? And that one's really, really choppy for some reason. Oh, it's missing time. Huh. Anyway, but that was the M-class flare there. So that's trying to load real quick. Let's go over to spaceweather.com real quick because they're actually showing you something similar. See this? This is spaceweather.com, guys. Go give them some love. It definitely is a great place to go to learn. They do a great job. Now, if you look over here, guys, you will see that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sunspots right now. And we got more coming. Some of them will rotate off. We'll get new ones. And this is what we would expect to see. How long before it gets here? That is a good question. Now, there is a mathematical formula you can use. I think, yeah. Nibby sent me in an email one day, showed me how to run through that. I need to go back and look at that. Because you can take the speed of it. There's some calculations you can do. And it'll give you an approximate time that it'll be here. Speed, size, all that stuff. So, but yeah, this one here is this. That is the one that shot the M-class flare. Okay? So why did it do it? Well, because it's got friends it's playing with right there. I think that's 2 sunspots officially. Yeah, it is. It's 2336 and 2936 and 2938. Now, something else I want to talk about here real quick is the CIR. Okay, we talk about that sometimes, and well, I'll just read what it says here. It says suggests that a co-rotating interaction region, that's a CIR. Okay, hit Earth's magnetic field during the early hours of the 29th. Shockwaves and compressed magnetic fields inside the CIR ignited bright aurora over Alaska and Canada. Okay? So what I'm saying here, guys, what a CIR is basically you got a wave of solar wind, another wave behind it, and in between those two, you will see you'll get a buildup. Usually the density increases, okay? Because you got one pushing, and if the one in the front is actually moving slower than the one in the back, it'll cram them together, okay? And it just increases energy all overall, really. So when that area in between those two solar wind streams, you get this CIR. And when that hits the Earth, it can really, really mimic a CME. It's not a CME, but it can mimic it because our magnetic field will react very similar. Okay? You'll see a hit. You'll see all the things move and all the models will start showing stuff. That's something I was never aware of until I actually learned that here. Also, I've heard Tamitha Sko talk about it also. So, yeah. And I would suggest everybody go check that channel out too. It's free college. Just saying. But again, okay. So here's this. That's that same sunspot. It's just from a filter. Okay. And again, why did they use different filters? So you can see different gases on the sun. So yeah. Can it cause extreme vertigo? There are medical issues that can happen. I am not a doctor. All I can tell you is that yes, there is strong links and studies now to put together the fact that stuff from the sun affects us, our biological bodies, not just our magnetic field on Earth. We're talking about it affects us physically. Now, I'm not going to go into depth what that can do, but as far as vertigo, I would be checking out your local Schumann Resonance, okay? And wherever you're living, you'll have to look that up yourself, but take that to your doctor. I always say this, guys. Don't assume that it's space weather or the Schumann is messing with you, okay? Just make sure that that's part of what you're thinking. Because if the doctor can't figure it out, maybe bring that to him and say, hey, I got this really bad vertigo. And say, hey, I've been paying attention to this, that, and the other. And believe it or not, the doctors are now starting to learn these kinds of things, and have for a while, but they're starting to implement them into their practices. Okay? They're understanding this better. Heart doctors especially. And I would assume neurological doctors also. Okay? But yes, to answer that question, I know that was kind of whatever, but now I'm going to talk about Noctilucent clouds, guys, and I want to point something out. These are the blue metallic clouds that form around our poles in the summertime in each hemisphere. It is vapor, water vapor from the Earth, or that from the poles, the ice. It gets really, really high up in the atmosphere, and it freezes around meteor dust. Now, last week, they saw a sharp uptick in these, and they were outside of the area that we typically see them. In other words, they had strayed pretty far away from the pole. They think they really got a good handle on what caused that. Believe it or not, it was the eruption from the Tonga volcano. What that did was it shot all those particles up there. Okay? And it allowed that stuff to freeze around that, I would assume. Plus there was spaceweather.com, this site right here, they did a story on it. Let's go back a couple days here and see if we can't find it. Yep, there it is. It caused an outburst of Noctilucent clouds. They're not saying this is exactly what happened yet. They don't know for 100%, but the timing of it is just too coincidental. You see that big uptick? Watch. Bam, right there on the end. That's an 8-day movie right there. Okay? So you go from almost nothing to that. So, in the timing of the volcano erupting, we know that it shot 60 kilometers in the air. So yeah, it was up in the atmosphere far enough that it could do that. So go read that story if you want to know more about that. See this? They even got the temperature decreases, water vapor increases, all those kinds of things. There's a process called, I think, what is it? Sublime or I can't remember what they call that. I need to go look that vocab up. What it is it's when a solid that's going to turn into a gas skips the liquid phase. It goes straight from solid to gas. Okay, without melting. So, or steam, or whatever that kind of thing. So when those kinds of things happen, and that's what you usually see with these noctilucent clouds. It's actually the polar ice caps and stuff, all the glaciers and stuff that hang around the poles, it skips that water phase. And yeah, there you go. Thank you, GeoHuff. Sublimation. I don't know why. I said sublime, didn't I? I just couldn't find the word there for a minute. Thank you. Awesome. See, guys, you guys are awesome. I mean, teach me way more than I could ever teach you guys. I'm just here showing it to you. You know what I mean? Okay. See, they were talking about it even back here. Look, this is back on the 28th. These are where the sunspots were at then. This one, we knew this one was getting bigger, and it got bigger fast. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah. Now, let me show you I'll show you the CME that was accompanied with the M-class flare. I'll show it to you here on seeds from Stereo A's point of view. You're not going to get much here because it's only got a couple of images. Okay? They're waiting for it, right? And I'm showing you this because it's got the chronograph here, the black and white version of it, and it really shows it, right? Earth's over here, guys. So if you're looking at from Stereo A's point of view, you have to pretend you're right here where my cursor is. Just take yourself and move yourself back 92 million miles in the case of Stereo A. But if you're on the Earth, you're over this direction, 93 million miles. You can see how this had the halo effect, and it's definitely wide enough. And when I showed it to you over here on Soho, it was also wide enough east-west to hit us. So I really do think this thing is gonna hit us. Now, whatever it does, we don't know yet. It doesn't. I mean, it does look. If I'm going to judge by like this, what we kind of look for just off the visual, without looking at the actual data part of it, you can kind of see where the center of it is. It's kind of right here, right? And it is kind of going that way, but the bottom of it still stretches all the way around, right? So with that being said, it looks like the concentrated density, like the center, well, I guess you could call it, would be here. Now, if that actually was north, south, and east, west enough to hit us directly, we definitely would take a harder hit. Okay, but that doesn't happen very often. It happens, but it doesn't happen very often. You got to understand that it has to really, it's actually pretty precise when you're talking about right in the middle. And again, usually when the higher dense part of these things, they'll show up on these coronagraphs brighter. And they'll look like little balls of whatever, or sometimes they look like road flares like this one does. Okay? See, I'll back it up. Well, let's go back to the previous day, and I'll show you that one on the backside. See? See how it kind of looks like a road flare? It's not spread out. So that's what I would say, because yeah. So aurora, you can expect the auroras to uptick. Okay. Yeah. So we'll run the. And believe it or not, guys, when you see aurora, you know what's happening? It's the solar wind actually hitting us from behind. And I'm not going to go into some big explanation on how that happens, but essentially what happens is it hits our magnetic field and it gets pushed around, right? So I tell you what, I'll just take you. Where can I take you to show you that? Right here. I can show you here. Okay. So this is the end of the spiral, right? So when the sun's here, Earth is here. So when I'm just going to go ahead and run it here real quick. That way I can. So say this section right here is getting ready to hit Earth, right? So as it hits, what happens is it goes around our magnetic field. We kind of block it, right? And then it'll do kind of like a reconnection thing, and it kind of swoops around from the back. Because we're talking about charged gas, right? Positive and negative. Magnetics, electricity, all that kind of stuff. So it hits, and it kind of comes back and hits through that way. And it comes in on our poles. That's why we see them there. Now, we get them mid-latitude when we take real big hits. Why? Because it's able to push through our magnetic field. More things get through. So the aurora is actually caused from behind most of the time. But it's coming from the front. Now, that's the way I understand it. That's the way I was told and taught that's how it happened. And I could go into more detail later on. I'm not going to do that now. But I try to keep it real simple, guys. I don't want to go too deep. But yeah, that aurora, that's how that aurora works. So that's also, there is such thing as daytime aurora too. It has to be pretty intense, but that's what happens. So remember, it's the nighttime of the nighttime of the Earth, the dark side over here. Sun's over here. So the solar wind's coming from the sun. Why are we seeing aurora over here? Well, because of that, and it's dark. Okay. Hey, Chris. So, yeah. Now, here's the geoelectric model. This is space weather's effect on our electrical grid or artificial electrical components. Notice that you see a slight uptick here, and that would be expected with what's going on here. Now, this thing will react more when we're impacted by a CME, not so much a flare. All right? So I'm just going to play it. You're going to see. Now, something I've talked about here for a while, right in here, we've been seeing more activity. I think it has something to do with what season we're in. Because, our tilt is always pointed the same direction. So when we're moving around the sun in our orbit, it kind of changes directions of things. And I think that might be why we're seeing that. I'm not for sure. That's kind of what I was thinking. But, I don't know. Anyway, if you wanted to talk about grid down type of stuff, this is not it. All right? Not even close. It's going to take, guys, it would take so much for that to happen, but again, that's for another day. Here is the earthquake, USGS. Now, I know we've been talking about a lot of earthquakes lately, guys. Okay? We've been seeing lots of 6s, lots of 5s, all that kind of stuff. Right? And obviously, when we had this 6.5 yesterday? Or 6.3 that popped off down here in New Zealand? It was close enough to Tonga. That's where my mind went. Because you look right here, here's Fiji, here's Tonga. So remember that truly when we talk about these things, we should just call it seismic activity. Okay? Back at you, Wolfie. because it's all the same. It's all connected to the same system. It presents itself in different ways. You know, obviously with a volcano, what's one of the main precursors of a volcano? You start seeing earthquakes, typically. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jacob, thank you for saying that. Who was somebody asking about that? This is Noah's version of what they call the Enlil spiral. The Enlil spiral is just the model. Okay? Now, each agency or each school, whatever you want to do, they can have access to the model itself, but they're allowed to put emphasis on certain data points. That's why you get different outcomes. Okay? So you can take the same model, it can look exactly the same, but it's going to give you a different outcome because of different data points are taken in consideration at a higher level than others. And each model is going to show you something at least slightly different. Now, when you start seeing the models line up and agree with each other, and what's this sound like when I'm talking about this? It's much like listening to a meteorologist talking about a hurricane coming in, isn't it? Because that's what happens with hurricanes too. They look at bunches of different models. And when they start agreeing, and typically they're not going to agree until the hurricane gets close to the shore, right? Thanks, fair lady. I appreciate you. So the same thing's true with the CME. Okay? We're able to get more data in and be able to see, so they adjust. Just like our local forecast on the 8th or whatever you want to call it on the Weather Channel, you'll definitely see this thing change. And I'm glad they change it. Some people will take the fact that they change this, like when they get different data in, and they'll make a big deal about it. You know, I kind of used to do that until I realized what the model's actually doing. You know, I want them to change this, because this one here is going to give you, right now we're right here in time, right? It's going to give you 2 days historic, so we know that actually happened because it's in the past. This is their forecasting 5 days out. All right? Now, what if, because right now, you see this little this uptick right here? I bet you it's from that CME. That flare I just showed you guys in the CME with it. This is stereo A's position. So it's starting to see the increase in density here, according to this model, on the 3rd or 4th. So that would mean that and again, this may not be it, right? So what I'm saying is that if this model essentially said it was going to take 5 days for that CME to get to stereo A, well, what if the calculations or the data was just a little bit off, and now it's going to hit on the 2nd? Wouldn't you want them to come out and tell you that and change the model? I mean, come on, we're talking about something that happened. The initial event happened 93 million miles away. Do you think that can be exact? No, it can't. That's why they change it. And I didn't realize that either, but once I did, and again, I was talking about this earlier, I changed the way I was showing you guys this. And I pointed out, hey guys, I was wrong there. This is really how it works. Yeah, the European Space Agency has their, they have a Enlil spiral that they use. NASA has their version. Here, I can show you NASA's version. I got a shortcut for it. Hold on. This is NASA's version. Now, the only downfall for looking at this one, this thing will not update unless it sees a CME. Okay? Plus, once it sees that update, a lot of times, say there was a CME right now, and then a CME like tomorrow. When it's seen the one from tomorrow, it would not even show you this one from today. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm not really sure why that happens like that. I know a lot of it has to do with how I don't think they man this tool very often anymore. That does, labor has effect on this, guys. Now, I know during the weekends and stuff, if this model gets all jacked up, you can pretty much say they're not going to fix it till Monday. Just saying. So keep that in mind. But this is NASA's version of it. This is NOAA's version of it. Do they look the same? Nope. Because to me, it looks like the enlil for NOAA here is already starting to update. That looks like that M-class flare right there, is what I'm trying to say. Now, I know it could be, I guess, because it sure looks like it, but I don't think it is, to be honest with you. Because that halo we seen there is a little bit more intense than that. At least to my eye. So, yeah. Okay. So, there's that model there. But back to the that's all seismic activity, guys. So, when you're talking about this stuff, keep that in mind, okay? Tamitha Disco. Here, hold on. I think I actually have her channel in my my description. It's Tamitha Scove. Okay? Billy B, yeah. Guys, I'm not kidding, guys. If you guys go over to her channel, she's called the Space Weather Woman, and she's trying to get space weather integrated back into our local weather forecasting and stuff like that, like they used to do a while back. Well, when I was a kid, they didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, but they would still report on it. Now the only time you hear them report on it is when there's big stuff going on. Tamitha's been on the Weather Channel and everything else. So, yeah. Okay, for Fair Lady, I'll check that, okay? Thank you. Wonder why. That's kind of odd. Thanks, Lily B. And I'm not kidding you guys. You guys go over to Tamitha's channel, and you literally sit there, and you will learn so much. And what's great about it is she'll do an informal thing, and then she'll have a formal forecast too. Now she reserves a lot of her daily updates for her Patreon channel, but she comes anytime something happens on the sun big, she comes on and does stuff. But she will also come on YouTube and do a 2.5. I've seen her do a 3.5 hour show teaching you what space weather is and how it works. And, getting really down into some deep subjects. And what's good about it is that there's going to be a replay of it. You can pause, stop, all that kind of thing. So if you don't understand something, you know what I mean? Yeah, guys, I mentioned Joe's mom's house had caught fire and burnt down. She lost pretty much everything. I mentioned that earlier on my channel here, guys. His link is at the top of my description box right now. Go over to his channel. Check out his recent 2 videos, I think it was. And you'll understand what we're talking about. Go over there, check it out. And if you can and if you're willing, please, he's got a GoFundMe going for her. And they're living in a motel right now because of it. And, again, we try to take care of our own and all that. But let me tell you this, Joe wouldn't want you guys to do something you couldn't. Okay? And I know that for a fact. So please, if like I said, don't do something if you can't. Just go over and check it out, and if you feel led to do that, please do. I know he would appreciate it, and so would I. So, thank you. Again, it's in the top of my description. Got the link to channel you were saying to go. Hold on 1 second. I probably can. Hold on. I think it's here. Man, I know I had her link in there. I thought I did. Okay, hold on. Let's just do this. Sorry, guys. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you, bud. You're awesome, man. Let me go to my, I want to say something right here, too. Notice when I'm scrolling down here, this is my subscription list. I don't hide it. A lot of people will, and that's fine. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. Some people should. For me, all my stuff's out there. And if you guys were, I'm not going to go into detail right here, but you're probably going to find some channels there that you probably wouldn't think I would watch because of certain issues. We'll just put it to you that way. But I'm a firm believer you can find truth anywhere. You just got to look for it. Just saying. This is Tamitha's channel. Okay? What I'm going to do... Come on. There's the link right there. Okay, guys? And again, guys, you know, you don't have to say I sent you or anything like that. I don't ever ask anybody really to do that unless it's like somebody go send you over to Rip or something. You guys know Rip Curl, obviously. If he's still here, I hope he's still here. I was going to talk about pole flip, but I'm not sure. I can give you a brief thing on that if you want me to. But anyway, we can talk. I tell you what, we'll talk about that in the next video. How about that? That way I can be a little bit more prepared for that. But this is her channel, guys. You can definitely see. I'm pretty sure she has a doctorate in this. PhD. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure she does, though. Right? But if you look at her videos and some of the links of them, don't be scared when you come over here and you see an hour and 30-minute whatever and a 3-hour whatever. You see these right here? This is a series she did. It's a mini course. This is this is college level stuff if you want to take it that far. But she will also... Oh, there you are. Okay. Rip, if you're still here, man, I can talk about it if you want me to. It won't take me but a couple minutes. But, well, you know what, man? I need to give that a little bit more than a couple minutes, I think. But I will give you guys a little bit of something before I get off here on the pole reversal. But yeah, guys, please go check her out. You don't have to say, hey, Wages World sent me or anything like that. I just think that she does really great stuff over there. I've learned a lot from her channel. She seems, I don't know her personally, but she seems like a really, really nice lady. So I don't get any bad vibes is what I'm saying. Back at you, Tommy. And yeah, guys, as always, guys, please go check out the Lifeboat. You guys know that that's me and Tommy's other channel. We had a powerful interview today with a guy named Alan. He fought a meth and alcohol addiction. He shared a lot of great stuff. Please go check that out. I'm not sure if you can drop the link or not, Tommy. Let me go here. Hold on. It may not even be in my... It does something weird because I run the channel from here. When I'm looking at stuff, it sometimes takes it 3 or 4 days. I'll have to watch, post the next video, and I don't get to see the live show until the next day. It's really weird. Just on my channel, though. I can go somewhere else, and it's all there. See, right now, it's not even there. It's stupid. I know it's there because I just looked at it. But anyway, somebody had a question? Let's see here. Jacob. Hang on. Why is it? It's the B Crouch. Is it true the Earth tilted a couple degrees when the Tonga earthquake blew? You know, I don't think, guys. Listen, I know that that's a big subject. Okay, you guys know I've already did my spiel. Hey, thanks, Rip. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Hey, guys, there's a link. Okay, here, I'll just do this. Yep, it took me right back to that channel. Anyway, we did a live stream tonight. It's awesome. Go check it out. It's in my community post too. I guess I could have just went there, couldn't I? Duh. Here, let me do that. There it is. Nope. Let's go to my community. Come on. There it is. So yeah, there's the interview. I deleted the other two because we had some technical issues. But yeah, please go check it out, guys. It was a really good one. Okay. Anybody that hadn't been over there, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor and go over and check it out. If you everybody knows somebody that's fought an addiction, and guys, it's just a great place. I don't know. It's a family. It really is. Hey, Grandma JJ, good to see you. So yeah, guys, so please go check that out. Do me a favor and just go over and check it out. That's all I ask. Honestly. I'm not going to sit here and hammer on it or anything like that, but okay, here you go. There you go. Thanks, Rip. There's the what did I do? Oops, something went wrong. I know what went wrong. Okay. Something went wrong, guys. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. Go here. Okay. I'm going to pop that chat back out. I'll just leave it like that for a minute. Okay. Here we go. Oops. Something went wrong. Okay. Can you tell me what went wrong? Just kidding. But anyway, please click on that link. Check it out. Yeah. But I do want to address the pole flip thing. Okay. The biggest thing I want people to understand with the pole flipping and all that kind of stuff, because, you know, there's a lot of things that get kicked around and talked about when we're talking about pole flipping, right? What I would say, let's see if I can't pop this chat back out. Pop out the chat. Can we get back? There it is. All right, cool. Again, nobody has been on this planet. Nobody that you know, any kind of historic data, nobody has been on this planet when our poles flipped. Okay? That's the first thing I want to say, because that's important. We have really good ideas about what would happen. But if you really get down and honest about it, nobody really truly 100% knows. Now, we have some great science. We have some great predictive stuff, forecasted things that could happen. And when I'm talking about a pole flip, guys, I'm talking about our magnetic field. That's what protects us from radiation, everything coming from space. So when our poles flip, which is a natural cycle, I want to say, okay, because it is. Now, when we talk about a sun cycle, what are we talking about? We are talking about a pole flip on the sun. The sun's north and south pole magnetically will flip roughly about every 11 years. Sometimes faster, sometimes slower. All right? So please understand that. And it really does. It can do. There's a lot of catastrophe that most likely will happen when it happens. Okay, and I've talked about a few of those. And the one I really go to begin with, and when you're talking about North and South Pole flipping, think about it like this: if you got two magnets on the table, right? Small ones, don't have to be big ones. Start moving them towards each other. Okay, have the positive part of one of the magnets facing out, and have the negative part of the other magnet facing out the other direction. Start moving them closer to each other and see what happens. The north and south from the north from the first magnet will start turning at the same time as the south does on the other. What's that going to do? Because north and south attract each other. Okay, so they're trying to come together. That's a natural thing. So when our poles flip, when we say flip, because what really happens is they meet. They will meet somewhere in the middle. And then yes, north and south will change. What was now north will be south, and what was now south will be north. Now we're talking about our magnetic field. We're not talking about geographic solid Earth. We're not talking about the barber pole and the North Pole, right? We're talking about magnetics. We're talking about our protection against the sun. So when they meet in the middle and it does go ahead and flip, the magnetic field will be down for a certain amount of time. Hey, D. Thomas, what's up? When that goes down, and nobody knows exactly how long, there's a lot of different ideas on how long, what can we expect? Well, one thing we can expect is the equatorial bubble will release. Okay? If anybody doesn't know what the equatorial bubble is, it's the bubble close to the equator of the Earth. The oceans are higher because of what I just said. So when our magnetic field goes down, what happens? That equatorial bubble will release. What will that do? Well, what's that going to do? It's going to flood every coastline in the world. Because all the water will increase around the planet. Okay, that's just one thing. That's almost for certain. Earthquakes, yes. Think about it. Think about it like this too. You got something that's got water on it. Okay, a massive amount of water, and a big chunk of that gets released at the equator. Don't you think that might try to move us geographically a little bit? Also, so even though the magnetic poles flip, they think that geographically we're going to move too. Our tilt will change. How do you know tilt changed? Let me tell you one surefire way. Okay? This is the thing that I always go to because there's a big subject, there's a big conversation around this. You will immediately know if any of that happens. Okay, even if you take out the fact that there'll be floods, even if you take out the fact, just pretend that we could actually, tilt really far, really quick, and nothing else happen. Okay, I'm saying this just for one reason. Because the amount of daylight that you get where you're at in your part of the world is determined by the rotation of the Earth, speed, 15 degrees an hour, which is why we get 24 hours in a day, or roughly thereof, and the tilt of our Earth. Because the tilt is on our axis, right? And say it's, well, you know what? Let me just do this real quick. I actually just... Hold on one second. Is this it? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Not sure. No, I'm not gonna. That's not it. But yeah, you can guys go look at this too. This is another subject that takes a whole lot of conversation. This is the Planetary Society, which is backed by a lot of big agencies. If you're standing on the equator at moonset, this is what you're going to see. If you're standing on the moon at the equator at moonrise, this is what the moon's going to look like. So it's rolling 180 degrees at the equator. Okay? And I'm not going to argue with anybody on that. Because you're going to have people saying that that's abnormal. And I've already told you guys my viewpoints on that. But these are big names, agencies that are showing you that this is a normal thing. But again, you have to understand parallactic angle. You have to understand field rotation, all that kind of stuff. And I've already went down that road, and I'm not going down it again. Just so you know. Apparently, it's too late for me anyway. But yeah. So I will just keep moving. Let's go. Patterns across. But anyway, guys, if our tilt changed, if we're tilted, say we're tilted to the left, and we're on the right side of the sun. Oh, I didn't show it? Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, if our North Pole was tilted to the left and we're on the right side of the sun, guess what? Our North Pole is still going to be tilted to the left when we're on the left side of the sun. That's why the tilt of the Earth will change the amount of daylight hours you see where you're living. There are industries on our planet right now, tourist industries that run their whole bed and breakfast, their motels and everything off of the fact that you get what they call a midnight sun. Okay? What's a midnight sun? Inside the Arctic Circle, there will be time periods where the sun will be up for 24 hours. It will never set. That is greatly dependent upon the tilt of the Earth. Directly dependent upon the tilt of the Earth. Geographically. And so what I'm saying is, even if we tilt, let's use a somewhat little number. 5 degrees. Let's just go with that. How about that? You tilt 5 degrees more, the amount of daylight hours is going to change drastically, immediately. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that make observations. They go outside and they look at the sun, they look at the moon. They say, hey, last night the moon was here, or no, I'll just use the sun. The sun was here, say it was southeastern sky, and then the next day they say, hey, well, now it's almost directly east, and all these kinds of things, right? Now, I'm not doubting what they're seeing and saying, okay? But what would have to be explained is, if that was happening to like an extreme level, like even 5 degrees, your sunrise and your sunset times would drastically change. It just would. Also, what if, check this out, what if you lived close to the equator? Right? Say you lived at the 10 degree latitude line. And we tilted, let's say 15 degrees. So you were on the 10 degree latitude line in the northern hemisphere. If we tilt 15 degrees, you know what that does? That actually puts you in the southern hemisphere now. So now you can't even see the same stars that you did the night before. Nobody can, come to me and show me why that's not happening if we've tilted. There's a lot of things. Also, the fact that, I was talking to Tommy about this. And if anybody knows what a sextant is, it's a tool you use to navigate with a boat. All that navigation stuff still works. You don't have to use technology. Rip will understand this one, if Rip's still in here. Bushcraft. People that are out in the wilderness, out in the doing hikes and stuff, if they lose their technology, what happens? How do they find their way home? They look straight up to the sky. They would never, ever be able to find their way home unless the sky was still in the same place as it was the night before. Or even 30 years before. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know, Scan. I don't have any of this pulled up or anything. No more Amazon deliveries. Love it, Geo. That's awesome. Here, we'll look at this. How about that? So yeah, guys, I mean, and again, you know, I always say that I can be wrong. And on this subject, I want somebody to tell me why all the sundials still work. Because if you guys know how a sundial works, they wouldn't work if we tilted more. Because the sun would be in a different place. So, yeah, GPS voice would say recalculating over and over and over. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, Jerry, what's up? Yep, star charts. That's the other thing, guys, I've never, ever brought up yet. You guys know what GMT is? General Mean, or Greenwich Mean Time. Why did they use that? Greenwich Mean Time is like the standard, you know, that's where the day starts and stops for the planet, right? They used that because of navigation. They had charts that told them exactly where the stars would be from Greenwich, England. They could take those same charts, and we can do the same today. This is why I'm saying this. You can take those charts and compare it to what you see in the sky, and you can find your exact location. Okay? So what I'm saying is that would not be possible if we tilted. That's what I'm trying to say. Where do we find info data on tilt and wobble? Actually, I actually did some videos on that. Actually, if you just type into Google voices of the erase, if you just type in, you know, Earth tilt, Earth wobble, they will tell you, they'll show you exactly what that means, and then they will actually give you the expected amount of years that the cycle will be. Because there is a natural wobble that the Earth does. I think it's 46,000 years it'll wobble. And when we're talking about wobble, we're not talking about rolling. Okay, that gets confused too. The North Pole and the South Pole point in a certain direction. In 46,000 years, it actually does a small circle. Okay? It doesn't always point exactly in the same spot over a 46,000 year time period. That's why our North Star will change. Okay? Eventually it'll change. We won't be able to use Polaris. And that's the other thing that I would say about, you know, the Earth tilt situation. Polaris wouldn't even be anywhere close to where it's at right now if we tilted. You couldn't find North if we tilted by using Polaris, and I can find North every day. And there's another way, there's a quick way you guys can do it. It's called the horn method. If you go out and you look at the moon when it's not just a little bit before half moon, it looks like a smiley face, right? Either it's wherever it's at. In other words, it's a crescent moon, okay? But it's a large crescent moon. If you connect one point to the other of the crescent, you draw a straight line in your mind, it's going to point to south if you're in the northern hemisphere. If we tilted, that wouldn't work. Just saying, there's so many things here that people had to use back in the day that still work. None of it would work if we had changed drastically. And again, if anybody can show me where I'm wrong, please, because I don't want to be wrong. And I think people get confused on the definition. That's all I'm saying. I really do. Like Earth wobble and like you were just saying. Yeah, guys, I don't know about the volcano possibly tilting the Earth a couple degrees. Because if you do research that, like Earth tilt, we're our normal one would be at 23.4 degrees, right? Well, it'll fluctuate a couple degrees. I think they call that they do call that tilt. Okay, it's a precession equals Earth wobble. Exactly. Thank you, GeoHuff. But yeah, so I think it's in a 100,000 year cycle. The tilt will move back and forth, but it always stays within that 2 degree range. It's not going to be, yeah. Oh yeah, Kath, you're talking about the North Pole moving to 40 degrees? Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, it's speeding up. That's a fact. Nobody argues that anymore. You know, there used to be a lot of people arguing that. A lot of mainstream was really fighting that for a long time until they had to go back a full year earlier to find out exactly where North Pole was because GPS wasn't working. Planes were actually lining up wrong because of it. So they had to go back up there and figure out where it was at. Yeah, guys, you know, Voices makes a really good point here. Don't think it is because volcano, but tilt moves magma affects volcanoes. Yeah. But here's also what I would say too. If you're, say the volcano happened and we tilted, there would 100% be other things happening because of that. And nobody's been able to show me anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, M-class flare. Yeah, 2 days prior to the Tonga blast. Yeah, that M-class flare. Yeah. Yeah, Elizabeth, for sure. And guys, listen. I really do respect the fact that people can believe and talk about whatever they want. I'm not trying to disprove anybody. I'm not trying to prove anybody. Because I truly 100% believe that the truth does not need defended. That if it's the truth, it doesn't need me or you to tell everybody that it's the truth. It'll speak for itself. So I don't, I don't have the ego or the whatever you want to call it to come out here and demand people to show me something that disproves what I'm saying. Because if you're going to say something against what is widely accepted to be truth, then it's up to you to prove that. It ain't up for the rest of the world to prove you wrong. You know what I mean? And here's the other thing is stuff like that. There's 100% certain things that would happen if we tilted, right? I mean, there's certain things that would absolutely happen. We can all agree on that. We've got sundials around the planet that have been there for hundreds and thousands of years. You can walk up to one of those sundials today. Pick one. Don't care where it's at. It will still tell you the time. And it will still be correct. If we tilted, that would not be the case. If we tilted like in a grand fashion, like 25, 30 degrees or something different, you wouldn't have to be asking me these questions. Is what I'm saying, because the whole world would know it. There would be no hiding it. Right? Yeah, la, you said it exactly. Agree to disagree. I absolutely am not, I don't get upset at people, because I think that, because I've been down certain roads of thinking myself, right? And you come out on the other side either still believing it or not. And I don't pretend to know where people should land. I'm not going to tell people what to believe. But when somebody tells me that I'm wrong, then you need to show me where I'm wrong. If you really want me to see it, you know what I mean? If certain things are a certainty, because there are things in this world that are certainties that would change if stuff like that was happening. If you can't explain why, even if it's just one thing, it has to be explained. I'm talking big things. Like again, if we tilted 35, 40 degrees extra, and my sun still rises at, say, 7 o'clock and sets at 5. And then I get up the next day and we've tilted 30 to 40 degrees. But I look outside, my sun still rose at 7 o'clock and sat at 5 o'clock. How is that possible if we tilted? It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not possible. Was Tonga facing the sun on the 12th when it blew? Yeah, Dillard, the flare part of that wouldn't affect that anyway. Okay, so if it was going to be something that, like, the energy that hits us from something like that to cause something like that, you're talking a CME, massive CME, I would have to say, that would take 3 days, 4 days to get here. But yeah, it's a good thought. It really is. I mean, I like that way of thinking. You hear something and you try to relate it to something else. Can we prove it this way? Can we prove it that way? That's exactly what I'm saying. That's an awesome way of thinking things. It really is. Sorry to hear that, Carly. Really am. That's horrible. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and pop off. I've been on here way too long. I've been on the internet way too long tonight. Oh, my gosh. Hour and 39 minutes. Oh, my God. Ain't nobody going to watch this thing. It's okay. I'm here for you guys. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I just want as many people to see it so they can hear what I'm saying. I don't look for any kind of recognition on that. But please, guys, go check out the Lifeboat channel. Please go check out Rip's channel. Mark Pires, Renaissance Man. Check him out. You guys know the channel's all at Joe. Please go check out his last couple videos. If you can help, please do. Back at you, Scan. I really appreciate you. You too, Miss Angelo in the Bronx, baby. Tammy, hey Tommy, fair lady, good to see you. Yeah, Carly, I it's just a harder situation. And I want to say this too. We talk about addiction and stuff over on the Lifeboat, but we're more about living your best life. Okay, because everything we talk about can be applied to everything, including addiction. Okay, Matter of fact, we talk about weight loss today. Hey, Ricky, good to see you. Ain't seen you in a minute. How are you? Kathleen, heck yeah. Vicky in the house. Steven. Thanks, guys. I missed you guys. I really do. There's no chance. Hey, chicken. George. But yeah, guys, look for my videos to get a little bit more consistent. And they're probably going to be, I'm going to try to keep them. My target is 15 minutes. Okay? Hey, Lala. But, you know, I'll probably go 20 minutes on some, 10 on others. So, yeah. Hours on the lifeboat, yeah, for sure. It's no telling. What's up? How are you? Hey, Fly. What's going on? Good to see you, girl. Bonnie and so on, so glad you're here. I really am. Everybody, I really do. I appreciate you. Hey, Kathy. Yeah, long night of work for sure. For sure, brother. It's all right, though. I feel good, though, you know. I needed some time, guys. I really did. Had a lot of bad stuff going on. Death. And, you know, just surrounded me, it felt like. And again, I'll talk more about this on the lifeboat. I'm not going to do that here on my channel here because obviously I guess it bothers quite a few people. They want me to stick to the space weather, and I get it. Okay? You're right, George. So, I'm squirreling, but that's the cat, too, right? It's our cabin cat. Hey, Thomas. Well, thanks. Appreciate you. Fair lady, what's up? Yeah, guys. Hey, Ripper. Man, you guys are hardcore, man. I love you guys. But yeah, guys, if you guys aren't subbed up to any of those people I just mentioned, Rip, the Lifeboat, who else I forget, Mark Pires, any of these guys, you know, we got to support each other. And the best way you guys can support any of these channels, including mine, is to subscribe and watch and share it out. Honestly. You guys know, and I hardly ever say this anymore because I don't think it should be a focus. I don't monetize my channel. So, oh yeah, Sebastian, I watch. Did you see my subscription list? For sure. It's just, yeah, there's been a lot of, I don't really want to get into it this late in the stream, but like I said before, I think everybody can learn from every channel. And yeah, that one too. Okay? Just saying. But you were talking about Suspicious Observer, right? Yeah. Definitely go over and check everybody out. Tam with the Sco. You know, everybody. You know, you can look at my description list and there's, again, yeah. Yeah, Carly, I've had a lot of people tell me that. And guess what, guys? My channel would probably be double its size if I did. But I don't. It's just, I don't want it to change what I do. So, yeah. Yeah, Steven. But yeah, guys, I think everybody should really just watch everything and just pay attention to what you're looking at. Man, you guys are smart. You'll figure it out. I promise. I really do. I really think you guys are that smart. I really do. Everybody is. And if people could come ask me questions, and here's what I try to do. And I don't know that I see a whole lot of channels doing this anymore. Somebody asks me a question, and I'll answer it, but then I'll show you how I came to my answer. A lot of channels are just going to answer it, and they'll say, trust me. That's one of the worst things somebody could say to you. If you hear a channel saying, trust me, guys, trust me, you know what that means? that means they have no substantial anything to back what they just said. They can believe it, which is fine. Okay, honestly. A belief is, it's faith, right? It's a belief in something you can't prove. And there's things that I believe that I can't prove. So when that's the case, I don't talk about them. And that's the reason, because I can't. I can't prove some of the things that I believe. Right? I mean, so if I say I think something's this way, I'm going to show you how I came to that. And it's not going to be, well, I guess I'll say it one more time. It's not going to be a pickle on a stick. So, just saying. I'm doing okay, Jackie. I'm doing better now. But again, guys, if you guys want to know a little bit more about why I've been gone, tomorrow on the lifeboat, it might be Monday. I can't remember. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I might take just 2 or 3 minutes and update people on what's going on. I'm not going to talk about it here. But please go over to the lifeboat, subscribe up. If you want to click that bell, please do. That way, when I am over there, you guys can come watch and listen to that. And when I'm not there, you guys can come watch and listen to that, because it's just such a great community over there. It's a family, it really is. Hey, Joe Bro, what's up? So yeah, guys, there's a lot of people here in the chat that's getting a lot out of it. Just so you guys know. I could shut up right now. Yeah, fucking soul. You picked up on that? Pickle on a stick? You guys know why I say that? Because there was a channel out there that actually took and put a pickle on the end of a stick and tried to use it as a model to show somebody something. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it when I seen it. I swear to God, I'm still laughing about it. It's just crazy. I guess I've been brought up a little bit different, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I just don't see how, let me ask you guys this. If I showed up here and I turned my webcam on and say this, if I said this, I said, hey guys, I'm going to show you how this asteroid's floating through space, and the next thing you see is a pickle on a stick. Are you guys going to take me serious for anything at all after that? I'm just saying. Because it actually happened. I'm not even kidding. Not that exact thing, but it was a pickle on a stick. They used it for a model to try to explain something to somebody on the internet for the whole world to see. And I'm not even going to say who it was. It doesn't matter. I say that because I think I'm sorry guys, I think it's funny. I choose to bring you guys an actual model. I'll bring you guys stuff that you guys can see and understand. Dang it, Fly. Bonnie, you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. Anyway, you guys are just freaking killing me. Goodness. Yeah. And I've actually stopped. Yeah, Planet X. Yeah. I actually stopped talking about that because, after I got my laugh out of it and everything, I've been trying not to. I just think it's funny. I'm not trying to pick on anybody because I've never ever said their name, just so you know. I've never ever talked about them, ever. They probably don't even know who I am. I just seen it on a YouTube video, and I'm not going to tell you guys who it is, because it is what it is, right? Good night, George. See you, bud. But yeah, guys, I tell you what. Yeah, I already tried to do this once, but I could try it again. Can we try it again? Let's try it again. You go here. I think I'll be able to get this to work this time. Rip posted it for us earlier. Copy. Paste. That is the lifeboat link, guys. Right there. Okay? Or just type in the lifeboat on the YouTube search. You'll get there. It'll look just like Tommy's logo there. Vicky. Yep, flies in here. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, she dropped it too. Probably better to use her link. I actually had one from a URL. That's the shorter link, so yeah. They know who I am? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I don't have many ill feelings towards anybody. Honestly, don't. And I would never even say who they are because, you know, I'm not going to come out here and do that to anybody. You know, it's just not cool. And again, guys, if I don't try to offend anybody, you know, maybe I shouldn't laugh at stuff like that, but man, I couldn't help it on that one, guys. Sorry. But yeah, chill, bro. I'm sorry. I'm getting ready to kick off here. I've been on here hour 45 minutes, I think. So, Kathy, yep. All right, guys. Please go check out all those channels. God bless. Yahusha saves. Yeah, Mike, the lifeboat. There you go. And you can drink this Kool-Aid.